Howdy, Beefalo Bart here. Welcome. Alright, so hopefully the title and everything is not getting screwed up here, because of one of the things that is actually probably a cool thing, but, yeah, if it works, it would be great, but it doesn't seem to be working and don't want to connect. To confirm the title of the stream, I've already set it manually in YouTube and then come back into this, so we'll see if it works. If not, then I'll have to fix things later. Because I've already had an incident where it double uploaded the same video twice. So I don't know what's going on with slobs. Anyway, so in the last video we created, and let's go back to a signal player here, a stationary teleport, just, you know, whatever. But we also did a throwable, and this is just a large coin. Whenever it explodes, we know that it's now ready. We can now teleport to that location. And there, we're set. So basically, when you're in this particular setup that I'm running, you have to be in first person mode, so you click V to change your view. Now you got a crosshair, and let's left click, we'll throw out this little token. Whenever it explodes, we know that it's set, and now we can teleport to that location. So I don't like where that one landed, so let's try again, and I don't like where that one landed. Let's try it again. Now let's right click, and we now can go where that actually stopped. So you don't have to take the very first one that pops up. We teleported because we landed our token on a teleport location right there. So one of the things we need to address is player being able to spawn multiples. It's only going to work from one of them, from the very last one, and then it's going to stop. So one of the things we need to do here is, and this is not multiplayer replicated by any means just yet, so we'll work on, you know, we can either go right into the multiplayer part, or we can set this up here. We got 3.1 second set puck launched, and that's fine. I think all we'd really need to do is set a variable to say can fire, and then put that inside here and then here. So at the end, we just put another branch right here inside and just say can launch. I'm not going to do that right now. Well, yeah, it won't take me just a moment to do that. So let's grab all this stuff here. Just stretch it out just a wee bit. And let's put another branch in. Position that. So we know that we're using our crosshair. Yes, so now we can do this. Can we actually shoot one out? So let's go ahead and create that variable. Can shoot. And let's throw that in here. Connect that up, and it is true by default. So what we're going to also have to do here is just need to make a hair more room. We need to now set this to false, but let's go ahead and set this to true by default. We can shoot, and then now we can't, and then at the end we already have our delay here. We'll set can shoot again. So that should rectify that situation. So nothing here. Go into this. We shoot one. Can't shoot anymore. Once it explodes, then we can shoot another one. There we go. So now it works. So, replication. What are we gonna do? Let's take and add 2 players, do this. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take the server, because we know that the server can go into this mode and spawn one out, and whenever it detonates, we can teleport to that location. We know the server works. So, our client goes into that mode. They can launch the puck out, but they can't teleport. So what I'm going to do here is, I didn't mean to stop there. Let's grab the server, and I'm going to move the server off to a different screen. And what I'm going to do here is go into this mode, and I'm going to shoot one out. And we can see that the client cannot see one. It's right there at his feet, and we can see that he can't see it. So let's look at our gadgets. Our projectile. Let's actually go in here and let's select replicates, compile and save. Let's see if that was enough. So this is our client. We're going to keep our client parked right here so we can see him. I'm going to come over here on the server so we can see the servers running around, and now when I throw one out, the client can see one. But what happens, and I know you guys can't see what the server sees, so I'm going to do this. Wow, okay. So we get a little blank sometimes whenever the client tries to do it, but we don't see when the client is trying to spawn one. So we know that it's visible now. So let's actually go back into our player. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this guy, and I'm going to delete that. That was the old version that we were just doing as a in line of sight. Whatever we aim at with our crosshair is where our teleport's going to go to. So I'm just going to move this guy up here because we're going to have to do a few things. Alright, so left mouse button. Got all this stuff right here. Spawning projectile. We know that it's working, but it's just not replicating. So the first thing I want to do is, whether or not it has to be a thing or not, I'm going to go ahead and replicate the puck location, just to be on the safe side. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to break left mouse button again, and we're going to stick it down here. And in its place, we're going to custom event. It's going to be client throw TP, and we need to go ahead and multicast that. Not sure if we're going to need reliable yet or not. Some things do, some things don't. And I'm just going to neaten this up just a wee bit because of my OCDs. So now the client is multicasting the fact that it is going to be able to throw that. So what we'll do now is come back over here at the end, and we're going to create another custom event. And this is going to be server throw TP. And we are going to set that to run on server. Probably do this another way, but I think this is probably going to work. So let's go ahead and switch. Has authority, so we can respect my authority. and then client throw TP. So now on our left mouse button, which we can go ahead and just make it all one big, humongous, horrendous line, and just do server throw TP. Compile and save, and let's go back in here and alright, this is the client, and let's go into the mode and throw it. Server still does not see it. So let's try that as reliable and that as reliable, because these are important things that need to be seen. Whether or not that is going to do anything or not, still not seeing it. Okay, so client is throwing, spawning the actor. Let's run on server. Give you a wee bit more room. Let's look back in here at our gadget. And again, yes, I know this is possible to replicate, but this is my dumbass trying to remember how to do it. Lifespan's fine. Setting the puck location. That's fine. We went to our class settings, or I'm sorry, class defaults, and we set replicates. Let's click that in there also. Let's make sure that the puck itself component replicates. Alright, so here is our client again. Still no bueno. Still not going to see it. Alright, so what's our next issue? Projectile movement component replicates. Let's try that. Still not seeing it. We still haven't set the teleport thing yet, but and honestly, it would be nice if we could see that. Is it necessary? Probably not. But you know, we know that we have that replicated. Projectile movement replicated. This is replicated. So every portion of that is set to replicate. So that should not be the problem. So everything is replicating in here. And again, this is not 100% necessary for everybody to see that I've just run a puck out there. But here's my thinking is, in one particular game where I saw this feature set up, what would happen is if, just go back in here as an example, if I come in here and I know that it's not working just yet, but if I throw my teleporter out and it lands and there's a player standing on top of or right next to that, even though this is going to actually bounce off a player. But what would happen is when that player tried to teleport to that location, if there's a player already there, it basically caused them to explode. So that's something to think about later on. But with this one, it's actually going to bounce off another player to prevent that. So, again, is it 100% necessary to have that to where it's a, we just replicate that one just in case. For other players to see that token once it's thrown out there, yeah, maybe not. But when we're replicating the projectile, there are other ways of doing this, but I have done it this way before and it has worked. To know that's multicast. You could set it up differently in the actual thing, but there is no weapon that's physically launching this. This is like the player is throwing it out there. So running on owning client, we actually want it to multicast. We want everything else to be seen here. So we want that to be multicast. And that is, whatever. I mean, that's just a location we're getting. It's just the arrow component. Self, and if we look at our stuff here, our class defaults, it should already be, set for replication. Replicates. So that's not a thing. Again, not sure if that matters or not, but I'm going to replicate that one. But the key here is that we have thrown the projectile. It is multicast. We spawn the actor. The actor itself is fully replicated. So let's actually see what happens now if the server. Okay, I'm running around as the server. We go into this mode, and the client can now see it. And I can teleport to it. So it's not replicating perfectly, but that's fine, We see the ending location is going to be the same. So that's good enough. All the bouncing does not have to be replicated. Uh-oh. So we saw two different locations there. It bounced, it landed in a totally different spot. But that's alright. We see the intent that it's actually going out there. So it's working for the server. We just got to figure out why it's not working for the client. Got our owner and instigator is set. I didn't know. That's the fun of trying to figure shit out, Target itself, whatever. That's replicated. So, not sure. This is one of the things where I've run into issues before with trying to replicate these, doing it this way, and don't always remember what the hell I did. Because changing some of these other settings, not really a good thing. So I know that with that, we just got to get the projectile to replicate correctly. So I'll actually come back to that. Let's see what happens here. Because the client can't do it, why can't the client teleport to that location? It's getting the same information. So run, and let's go to the client, go into our mode, and we can see that we fired it out. And you see it blinked, but it did not teleport. So the action here of set actor location is what needs to physically be the replicated portion here. So that's where we're going to run into our thing, is how do we confirm that this is going to be replicated correctly? So let's try doing the custom event client TP to puck. And we will multicast. And I'm just going to go ahead and run that as reliable. And then what we'll do is custom server TP to puck. Again, I'm probably going about this all the wrong way. Client TP to puck. And then now we're going to do server TP to puck. Alright, so our client comes over here, throws a puck out, it goes bang, and doesn't work. Because I'm pretty sure it's not getting that information. The puck location itself. Let's replicate that. Let's make sure that everything that needs to be and should be is replicated. So that variable needs to be replicated. The projectile movement, it's already set to replicate, but still don't like it. It don't like that location, and server does it, no problem. Oh shit. So the server has to run a puck, and it's set the location. So what happens now with the client? They can't do it. So let's set that. And yeah, gee, said not working. Client can do it. Server cannot teleport to that location. And nothing. Alright, so that's a failed attempt. Yeah, got a drinking problem. So I'm pretty sure that what's going on is that each thing here, because we're not getting this to happen replicated, and we're not getting the shooting portion of it replicated, so it's not getting that location. So we're going to have to come back here and address that, and guarantee you that's the issue. We've established that we can do it, no problem, but this needs to be run separately. So what we can do is try passing some of this information through to this guy so that we now have it here and we can pass everything through. And how the hell do we do that? So let's grab this, and instead of going here, let's add that pin here. Let's see, wait a minute. Class, let's put that class into here, and this guy to here, that, and that. So now we've got all those pins for this and this pinned to the client portion. And we got this guy. We'll grab him and let's drag them out of the way, and the class itself. So now if we come back over, we have all that information here. So let's try using that information for the server, and if that doesn't work, then we'll use that information here and plug it back in. So let's see what happens now if we plug that in. The class was our teleport projectile. Gonna do this and this. Shouldn't have to worry about that. So now we're passing that information through to this guy to read that information. Again, like I said, if that doesn't work, then I will pass this information to here, and then we'll have it here, and then plug in the information over there. So let's see what happens. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. So let's come over here and let us go into our mode and shoot it. Now it comes out, we see it. Okay, so we don't always see it. I can hear it, and it's not coming out the right direction. Came out the right direction that time. Came out the right direction that time. It's not letting us teleport, but yeah, that's weird. So let's close our projectile down. Let's actually take that same information and do like we did again. Bring that over here. And let's grab the class, spawn transform owner and instigator into that. Now we can plug the information back in here. And our class here was teleport projectile. So let's see what happens now. It shoots out, blows up, teleport's not working. It's definitely screwing with our player. Alright, so this is, I still think where we're going to have a problem. Even though it's working for the client to see, the server does not see it. Yeah, we're not worried about this. This doesn't really exist. Our class, our transform, owner and instigator, all that information passes all the way through And yeah, set the actor location. Let's grab these guys. Is it sweep and teleport? They just, I've never seen them to work really well with multiplayer. Let's run on server. Didn't check reliable, but still. Really don't think that the yeah, see, we're now I'm looking in the same direction here. Server still can't see the puck going out. And whenever I'm physically moving my character around and facing the server, it works. But as I'm moving my mouse around, it does not. So, something to worry about for later on. Since we're doing the thing here, let's do like I did on the other one. Just gonna break those two guys, and we're going to pass through the location. Actually, let's target and location. Target and location. And then pull this over here. Target, even though that's not a thing, we have to make it a thing probably. Yeah, see, it's not wanting to allow the client to teleport. So I think what we'll end up doing is experimenting with a few things, and probably I'm going to have to come back and revisit this. So the answer to whether I can do it right off the bat, no. I'll have to go about this a different location, or a different way, because setting the actor location is, I think, the problem here, and spawn actor is being the problem here. I mean, it shouldn't matter for use crosshair whether it's replicated or not. But what the hell? Mesh should already be replicated. So we'll have to come up with a different method of doing this. Yep. Client can shoot it out. Doesn't matter that the server can see it. But the client cannot teleport. And the host or the server cannot teleport to where the server through. Let's see. Oh, okay. See, just by doing that, it doubled up. So let's try unchecking that. Because what can happen when you see, I'm getting doubles here. So with everything replicated, that's where you start running into issues. So uncheck component replicates there. See if that fixes the problem. Because you don't want the server now throwing two of them out. That didn't fix it. One of the spots that I chose replication caused it to double up. So people telling me they have this problem on their stuff, and they probably were doing the same thing that I did, and there we go. It's just the one. And we can see it screwing with the client whenever we hit him with it. But you notice the server sees the client is facing towards him. The client is actually facing away. Just turned all the way around again, and it wasn't a thing. You see, it shows that they're facing this way, and they are not facing this way. They are actually facing this way. But yeah, I'll get this figured out. Client sees it, and it's just one little thing here that's causing it to be that way. And I'm missing out on it somewhere. And it's always one of those epiphanies like, aha, that's the problem. And you pick it out and you finally figure it out. And that's part of the jigsaw puzzle. You know, when you finally figure it out and say, okay, that's the problem. I'm going to unreplicate can shoot. Puck launched. And unreplicate that. The only thing that should be replicated in this is the fact that it's the client. It's multicasting that information. The server is saying that it has authority to allow the client to have authority, and then it's setting that information up. So, give them the client, shoot it out, and cannot teleport. So, I'm going to have to mess around with it. I've had this problem before, and I fixed it, and I'll fix it again. Figure out where the hell. See, it shows that the client is facing this way, but in fact, they're facing the opposite direction. And again, we can see which way the client, the server is facing with the client, but the server cannot see the client turning. So I got to go through and check all my settings, and I'll link an update video with this. But I did want to make sure that I retouched on this guy, on this thing, because I think that if you're sitting here and you come up with your own way for aiming and launching the puck, if you want it to come from a grenade launcher, or you want to throw it like a frisbee, or whatever the hell you want to do with it, wherever that puck lands, you can now teleport to. Like, there we go. And now we're up there. If you launch it out of the arena, then, well, you're just out of the arena. And it stores that data short term. And it fell off. Damn it. Oh, that is definitely no bueno. There we go. Alright, so yeah, you could use this as a teleport system for getting you to locations where you wouldn't normally be able to go. And you could sit there and keep deploying them, keep shooting them until you are satisfied with where it goes. There we go. So yeah, I will get it fixed on the replication. That'll make things a lot easier and a lot more fun. That way you're running around in a multiplayer game and you're trying to get away from somebody, and then you shoot this across the other side of, you don't want to have it go 2 miles, and then just right click and poof, teleport. You might want to set this up for the number 3 key, set you into this mode, and there you go. You launch it, and now you right click, or instead of doing the manual right click, if you just want to press your luck, you fire it, wait that time period, and then it automatically teleports you. Or like did before, you left click and it teleports where you're looking. So many different ways you could go about doing this. I will fix the replication and get back to it. But I need to go eat something. I have not really eaten anything all day long. Like an idiot. And that's probably what's causing me to short circuit the brain a little bit here. So I will review what I've done here, check all my settings on the replication of it, and find out why the player itself cannot see, the client can't see what the server is doing, because when you're rotating your character around this way, your whole body is rotating and the client cannot see it. So again, client goes into this mode and is turning in circles, and the server cannot see it. Server does it, and let's change our view so we can see what the hell is going on. So when the server goes into that view and is moving around, the client can see which way the server is facing, and the puck works. Even though the final resting place, as you can notice here, is not going to be the same every single solitary time. We see the client is facing this way, when in fact they're actually facing this way. So it's really going to be a pain in the ass. You see the difference in location of what the client sees and what the server sees. That's always going to be a thing whenever you're spawning projectiles. But it's a good start. I'm going to eat something, and then I'll come back to this and figure out what I did and what I did wrong and what I need to replicate, what I need to fix, and that kind of stuff. Because I'm sure it's just one little thing that I have not checked that I need to check, or one thing that I have checked that I don't need to have checked. So that's the thing, is whenever I'm in this view, it would be nice if the server could see what the client was looking at, because the client can. So I'll go through, I'll fix all that shit, I'll come back and I'll do an update on it. I said I need to refuel. I'll get back to this. Alright guys, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.